Hey guys, what's up? Jared here, Decks and Dice, Ramblings of an LGS owner. Um, Video number 2 this week. I told you I was going to try, so here I am, giving it a try. So, um, let's talk about selling platforms, and I'm not going to pick on TCG. Let's talk about ManaPool. You've probably been hearing a lot about ManaPool lately, just because Rob mentioned it from RNG. Mason has mentioned it from CNA Gaming. Sorry, Mason, I slaughtered that one. And a couple of other ones, I'm sure, but those are the two main ones that I've noticed. But we also sell on ManaPool, and thanks to Rob for letting me know it even existed, it's actually been doing really well. Mason kind of jabbed a little bit at it with saying, the what was it? I can't remember his exact words, but basically just the low sell rate on ManaPool. Which, okay, like ManaPool is small, yes, it's going to have a lower sell through rate, etc., etc. However, what we have noticed is that ManaPool is really good at selling your low end cards. Um, so it took us a little bit. I think we've been on ManaPool maybe 2 months, 3 months, somewhere around there. Like, it hasn't been long. But I say we, it's mainly me, but we because fuck it. Um, Mainly noticed that it was doing really well at selling low end bulk cards, so I decided to do a split with our TCG and ManaPool, and I only list cards now, barring like a new set. Like with Lorwyn coming out, this is going to go against what I'm about to tell you. However, with like random trade-ins and collections that I buy, etc., etc., this is how we break up our inventory between both systems. TCG gets my like $3 and up cards. ManaPool gets my $2.99 and below cards. Um, and it's been working out pretty good. Um, ManaPool, I have noticed, is kind of more or less like deck builders. Um, and when I say deck builders, I mean people like that build decks, pre-made commander decks and everything, and just like sell them on eBay or probably for their shop. Which is the second kind that I have noticed is that go away notification is that it seems like it might be other shops buying from other shops, just to get their own inventory or whatever, which is fine. And I have had just individuals reach out and be like, "Hey, I saw you on ManaPool. Can I buy from you because you're local? I'll just come pick it up." It's like, "Yeah, cool. That's no big deal. Give me your list." Um, so, ManaPool is great for your low end cards. ManaPool also, after everything is done, like their processing fees and the percentage they take, is only about 8%. 8-9%, somewhere in there. I think it's only 8. So it's like 4 or 5%. Well, actually, we pay more like 15%. So it's like 6 or 7% less per order than TCG. They also do not take the percentage that TCG takes out of the shipping cost, which is awesome. Few people actually know that TCG does that. Like, they price the entire order, like however much your order is, including shipping. They, can't talk. They use their fee structure with the whole entire order. They don't keep the shipping separate from just the actual cost of the card. Um, so, you'll get that 10 to 15% if you're a pro seller or whatever, on your entire order, versus with ManaPool, it's just 8% on the card and the shipping is separate. Or that was my understanding probably like 30 days ago, whenever I signed up. Which was like 2 or 3 months ago. I went and reread the stuff. Anyways, It's great for selling your low end cards. The way that ManaPool breaks things up is also really good compared to what TCG does. Because let's all be honest, guys, TCG is pretty. It's convenient as fuck. It's a huge marketplace, but as far as like the seller buyer experience, their rules, regulations, etc., fairly archaic. Like, just it is. Okay, it is, but you really have no other option other than to play ball with them because they pretty much are it. You can go to Card Castle or whatever, sell them, but I'm not going to go down that route. It's pretty much TCG or bust, right? So everyone just deals with it. You just bend over the barrel, you take whatever, TCG makes you take, and you just call it a day. But ManaPool is really cool with their orders because anything from 1 card to 14 cards is just a standard PWE, right? So you'll get your $1.30 or whatever it is as the base shipping on there for orders from 1 to 14 cards, which is great because, yeah, you'll probably need like an extra 1 ounce stamp or something, but they fit. We still use this format, so you can do, well, these are Yu-Gi-Oh cards, they're not Magic. ManaPool's only Magic, but anyways, you do 5, 5, and 4, boom, you're good to go to ship it out, and it's just simple. Anything over 14 cards is an automatic bubble mailer. Doesn't matter if it's just 15, doesn't matter if it's, shit, I have had like 80. So it's $4.99, boom, it's a bubble mailer. Which takes all the guesswork out of stuff, which makes things a lot cooler from a seller aspect because at least then you know that it's getting tracking. There's a whole slew of stress taken off of you about, well, fuck, will this make it? It's a 20 card order, but it's only like $10, but they're making them put it into a bubble mailer with tracking, so like that it's going to go there. Minus what TCG basically does is, hey, if the buyer says that they didn't get it, fuck you, refund them. We're going to still keep our little piece of the processing fee and all that good stuff, but fuck you, seller, just eat it and go. And everyone knows that about TCG, so there's a shit ton of that going on. I've done videos on that before. That's one of the main reasons why I hate TCG. Hate's a strong word. Just why I don't like selling on TCG, because it really is just the buyer is way more protected than the seller on TCG. With ManaPool, when it comes to that, if there is a lost package or whatever, 9 times out of 10, ManaPool covers your loss. If it's, I don't know if there's like an actual dollar limit, but they cover the cost of your lost package, which is great, because then you're just like, okay, cool, I'm not out, $8 times 40 over the year, so it really helps sellers out. And like I said, it's really good at moving low-end cards. Heaven forbid I put basic lands on ManaPool, and since ManaPool has a floor limit of 15 cents, like you can't sell anything on there for less than 15 cents. It just automatically bumps it up to 15 cents. Oh no, I sold a basic plains for 15 cents. Please God, no, whatever you do, not that. So that's also really cool, especially from a seller standpoint. Kind of like what TCG has done with their direct thing, where everything is like, it's either, their floor price is 40 cents. So now sellers on direct are guaranteed at least, 15 or 20 cents per, bulk common or whatever they sell, which is cool, but I don't know. I also don't like direct. I don't like the fee structure. It's a headache because you have to try to remember to price things at a direct increase because of what TCG takes out of the sale. And anything, I think it's under $2, $3, somewhere around there. We'll say three. Anything under like $3, TCG automatically takes 50% of what you sell. So like if you're, selling a fucking $3 card on there for direct, you might as well bump it up by an extra 40%, 50% just to try to make up for the huge ass chunk they're going to take. Granted, I understand it's a lot easier for some places to just list everything on direct and do like Mason does or whatever and just throw up their like normal shipping to $5 so it deters normies from buying from the shop. So that way if there's like any individual like shop orders, it's getting a bubble mailer, there's tracking on it, and there's not going to be a flood of just normie orders there, so he doesn't have to like deal with 50 orders a day. It all goes to direct. Direct sends him an RI. I think it's like twice a week or something like that, and he just fills it and sends it back to TCG Player, and it's easy peasy. I get it. I don't like it. I'd much rather just sit there, well, me and my minions or whatever, and pack stuff up. I'd rather sell a card for 25 cents, which is our floor price for most things. Sell a card for 25 cents, have the shipping on there for $1.30. Let TCG take their 15% and actually get more per order that way than dealing with direct. I'm just, I don't know. It's like, oh no, we have to pack up 30 orders today, and okay. I don't have a huge influx of like foot traffic, I'm not in a very big spot, so that could be different from Mason or anybody else. I always have someone up front though, and there's someone up there dealing with stuff. We have our regulars that come in. The regulars understand that, stuff has to get done, so they just sit there and play Commander or whatever. Like, it's a whole thing. Oh no, having to pay someone to pack up stuff is just horrible. And I mean, especially if you just are lucky enough, like in my perspective, and I know I'm rambling at this point, but here we are. Like if I'm lucky enough, like with me, most of my employees are direct family. So that helps me out a lot, which goes back to the last video I did where like, there's just little minute things that everyone has that you can't or won't be able to replicate that makes their success or business run differently than yours. That's one thing that I have is most of my employees are direct family. And like, I know this is going to sound terrible, but just bear with me. But like, at least here in South Carolina, if your employees are like direct family members, wife, kid, stuff like that, you don't necessarily have to like pay them to work because it's a family business. Their pay is essentially, oh hey, the light switch actually works when I flick it. Oh hey, the toilet actually flushes when I flush it. I'm not starving today. That's kind of how it is. Now, no, I don't do that with my family. I pay my son. My wife, I don't really pay her, but like, she's a stay-at-home wife, homeschools the kids. She doesn't have to like actually go out and get a job. I do the man thing, and she needs like $100 for groceries. I give her 110. She needs like $60 to buy something off of Amazon. Here's your $60, etc., etc. That's how she gets paid. But anyways, I digress. Back to the whole core concept before I went on that ramble. ManaPool is great, okay? It's small, yes, but ManaPool is fucking awesome, especially from a seller standpoint. I really wish TCG would pull their heads out of their asses and mimic what ManaPool is doing as far as like, even just instituting a 15-cent floor price across the board, like just in general, not for direct or anything, but just in general, would be a step in the right direction. Not only do they get a little bit more money for instituting their fees, you know, but we get a little bit more money too for being able to sell like an 8-cent common for 15 cents. I think just bumping that up across the board would help them with their revenue in general as well. Um, the way that there's no recourse on TCG for lost packages, that bothers the crap out of me, because I actually worked for the post office for a little bit. Like, I didn't do, 12 years or whatever, but I worked there enough to know that they don't lose packages at that rate that you'll get, you know? And that's another reason why people choose to go with direct too, is because you avoid all of this fucking nonsense with, my package is missing, I didn't get my package, blah, blah, blah. TCG handles all that. But like, if you're a normal seller like me, you will get these, my package hasn't showed up yet. Like, 1 out of every 50 or 60 orders you get, like, you're bound to get a, where's my package thing. And you have no choice, especially if it's someone who knows the game and they only order like $6 worth of shit. You're not going to put tracking on that. You're just going to have to be like, shit, here goes another one. Whether it's legitimate or not at this point, for doing this for 5 years, I don't give a fuck. I block you. Like, I just do. Rob does it. I'm sure everyone else does it too. Like, I just say, cool beans, here's your free $6 or whatever, because I'm pretty sure you're looking at my package while you're sending me that. Great, you're blocked, And I have slowly whittled away at those instances. They still happen, and enough to be a pain in my ass, but you eventually just start blocking people. And as I've said in other videos, if you do that, please, dear God, escalate the thread to TCG Player and let them know, hey, I'm not saying that this person is doing this, but can you please notate this buyer's account that they said that they lost this package, and have a good day. That's it. That's as simple as it's got to be, because TCG will notate that buyer's account, and if they do that enough, TCG will be like, okay, you're obviously running a scam, bye. And they will kick them off the platform. So, but, rambling again, squirrel brain, sorry. Yeah, get on ManaPool. Just do it. If you're a small shop like me, just get on ManaPool, have at it, list your shit. You can't use the TCG app, which, oh no, it's crap now anyways. It scans like hell. It sucks so bad right now. I wish TCG would fix that shit too with some kind of an update. It's been months since they rolled out that new update, and dear Lord, their app sucks. So you'll need to use ManaBox. You can use ManaBox to scan your stuff in, which works really well. You can download your collection into a CSV. You can upload that CSV to ManaPool. The only caveat about that is, what is it? ManaBox does something weird with the transition to ManaPool, where if you scan stuff in as near mint, it hits it as LP. And I think LP is still LP, but, or is it LP goes down to like moderate? I can't remember. There's some kind of a weird staggering system. I can't remember exactly, but like, if you scan it as near mint, I know it goes in as lightly played, which is fine, because unless we crack it open ourselves and know it's packed fresh, we pretty much sell everything as LP anyways, just because I don't want that headache of condition issue and, well, actually, and it's just easier. And yeah, if any of you guys, Jesus, this is a ramble. Anyways, any of you guys watch Chase, TCG Bulk Kings or whatever, he just did that video about conditioning your cards right, blah, blah, blah. It's like, I love you, Chase, but also, you slingshot out of your basement guy. You have the extra time to deal with that shit. You can sit there and condition every single fucking card you have, all that good stuff. I don't. I actually have, a legitimate brick and mortar business to worry about. I don't just sling it out of my basement, work a normie job on top of it or whatever, and go. Um, Everything at LP, sure, it sets the expectation that, oh, this card was sent to me as LP, but it's actually near mint. But I don't think it matters that much. I really, really don't. Because, like, the differences in LP to near mint are kind of negligible. And, like, it's just not that big of a deal. And sometimes, believe it or not, the LP versions are worth more than the near mint versions, and vice versa. So you may or may not be losing out on, listing everything at LP, but you're probably not really, because the ones that are worth more LP are just like if they're worth more near mint. There's like a couple of dollar differences, sometimes 50 cents or whatever, but like it washes out. It doesn't really matter. And you avoid the headache of, like I said, well, actually, with condition issues, it's like, here, dude, here's a near mint card at LP. I couldn't confirm that it was actually near mint because I didn't pull it from a pack, and I'm not going to sit here and go through this 5,000K box conditioning every single fucking card that I have in there. No, it's all LP, don't care, scan it, put it in the inventory, go. That's just the way I operate. So, yeah. Anywho, enough rambling. Sorry for hitting the table like that. I just kind of do that. But yeah, give ManaPool a shot. Do both. It's probably the easiest and best way for you to try to maximize your profits and everything on selling online anyways. Do both. If you want to tier it like I do, great. It's been working out really well on our end because a lot of our BS bulk cards are selling. Ooh, I just hit the microphone. Sorry about that, guys. Are selling for, at least 15 cents, and they're getting out of the shop, so good. Our TCG orders have slowed down a little bit, but since they're at a $3 or above, the actual quality of the orders themselves have improved. I'm not sending out one order for a 15-cent card or 25-cent card, and that's it. I'm not wasting my time and effort, my minions' time and effort to pack up that one fucking card and go. So, I don't mind doing that for $3 and above, but for 25 cents, it's like my dude should have just done something else aside from that. So anywho, yep, done rambling. Sorry guys. Get on ManaPool, try it, check it out. You'll enjoy it. I promise. Yes, it's not as big as expansive as TCG. Yes, there's not like a whole bunch of other random stuff you can do like TCG has, but ManaPool just started. I mean, not just started. They're newer. They're smaller. You got to give them some time. Hopefully, they'll start to rival TCG Player because TCG needs some kind of a rival so they can pull their heads out of their asses and actually, like, do good again. You're great, TCG. I love you. Really, I do. You've been pivotal to the business and everything. But at some point, you guys gotta, like, stop being so arrogant, okay? Yeah, you're the biggest place to go to and all that good stuff, but that doesn't mean you gotta be an asshole about it, You can most likely lower your fees if you wanted to. You could do, like I said, you could bump everything up to a 15-cent floor price or a 20-cent floor price. You'd make more off of our fees from us selling. We'd make a little bit more. Everyone's happy. You could help sellers with these you know, my lost packages things where like you'll cover, I don't know, $3 and under, you know, PWEs that are lost or something. I don't know. You guys could be a lot more generous and, yeah, I guess generous maybe. That's, yeah, sure. To sellers, and not just the ones that you guys cherry pick to be like, you know, your brand recognition people or whatever, your pets, you know. And I get it. Like if you're selling a shit ton on there and all, you want to make them happy, you want to give them certain perks and all that good stuff for bringing you in a shit ton of money. I get that, but shouldn't be, seemingly in my opinion, because I don't know the back ends of all this or whatever, but like shouldn't be to the detriment of everyone else that sells on there, you know. Anyways, that was a lot of stuff to cover in one thing. Hopefully you guys kept up with it. I'm gonna go do some random stuff before we open up in an hour. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. And like I like to say, life is not a dick. You don't have to take it so hard. Be safe out there. Enjoy yourselves. Have a good time. Get on ManaPool. And, you know, shilling, join the Patreon, $1.50 tier. Boom. It's a thanks for existing tier. Like, share, sub to the channel. And I'll see you guys in the next video.